Hello everyone, welcome to my class. It's me, Sarker Afros, lecturer Department of English. Well, the student, today I would like to play a game with you. No doubt it sounds very good. Well, before I start to play a game with you, it's very important to know about the players of the game. Yes, dear student, as you know, to play cricket or football, there needs 11 members in a team. And every individual member has their own identity, their own method of working, and own achievement. So, dear students, it's very important to know about the individual members. And finally, we find the individual member work as a single package. That means they work as a team. Similarly, when you are learning English as a second language, it's very important to know about the ABC of English. ABC, that means the primary or the basic English grammar. So, dear students, if you want to be expert in English, or if you want to prepare a speech of writing or want to deliver a speech, in that case it's very important to know about the basic grammar, because when you deliver a speech it requires a sentence, and a sentence requires some words. Yes, dear student, it's a chain. It's very funny, it's a chain. So every sentence, in a sentence, every word has their own identity and their own definition, own function, own method of working. So, dear student, if you want to write a proper sentence or to want to deliver a speech, in that case, it's very important to know about individual words. I hope you already understood our today's topics. Yes, dear students, our today's topic is persuasive speech. Yes, it will help you to write a proper English or to speak English in a very grammatical way, and it will make your sentence lucid and dynamic. It will bring flow in your writing or speaking. So, dear student, no more late. Let's start to learn about parts of speech. So, let's turn to the board. All right, student, you can see I have written here about a background discussion that's about parts of speech. Here, first I have written what is parts of speech. It's very important to know what is parts of speech. Well, you can see the different classes into which words are divided according to their functions. I have already mentioned this. Functions in a sentence are called parts of speech. Well, I repeat it. The different classes into which words are divided according to their functions in a sentence are called parts of speech. So, dear student, we can say why parts is important. Basically, parts of speech helps to understand the use or functions of words and how different words can make a meaningful sentence. Yes, dear student, if you want to write a meaningful sentence, in that case, it's very important to know about every part of a sentence. Well, now in English grammar, you will see the classification of parts of speech, where it is divided into 8 groups. Now, first one is noun, next pronoun, adjective, verb, adverb, preposition, conjunction, and finally interjections. These aids are very important, and in every sentence, by any way they use, and we write a meaningful sentence. Well, dear students, every classification has their own definition and own function. Now I will start discussing by noun. Well, dear students, you can see here is a definition for you, and the definitions you can see. First one, I have written this. Before I start, I just want to say noun, it is a major part to write or speak a sentence, because noun works in a sentence as a subject or object of a verb and can be modified by an adjective. Yes, dear student. So a noun is a name, actually one kind of name that mention anything like person, animal, place, thing, abstract idea, action, state, or quality is called noun. And as we know that without noun, that means subject, it's not possible to write a sentence. And in a sentence, noun basically works as a subject. So it's very important to know about noun, because it will help you to write a sentence. Without subjects, it's not possible to write a sentence. Well, dear student, now we can say in brief, a noun is a word which denotes a name of person. That means any kind of name, maybe person, thing, place, quality, condition, like this. Here are some example for you. You can see Mo. It's the name of a person, a lady. Dhaka. It means a place. Next, horse. It's the animal. Wisdom. It's a quality. Next, walking. It's a condition. So just students, you can see any kind of name is called actually noun. So I hope now you are clear. Next, we'll turn to pronoun. Here, pronoun. Pronoun is replaced by noun. They are basically used to avoid repeating the same nouns over and over again. You will feel really bad to hear a noun frequently. That's why we basically use pronoun. Well, dear student, pronoun helps to bring attraction to the reader and listener. It also helps to bring flow in a sentence. So if you want to stop repetition of noun which is really odd to hear again and again, in that case you need pronoun. And remember one most important thing, that pronoun basically replaced by noun, and in that case which is your subject, its person and tense. According this way, pronoun basically change. So we can say pronoun. A pronoun is a word used instead of noun. It is used to avoid repetition of a noun. So dear students, you know about pronoun, which will help you later to write a very fruitful sentence. Here are some example for you. You can see first one I have written here, Lynn is my sister. Here Lynn is a noun because it's a name, and any kind of name is noun. But here another example for you, Dash is a good singer. Actually I'm talking about Lynn, but if I write here Lynn, again it seems that I am repeating the same thing again and again. That's why to avoid this thing we can write here she. So this is called actually pronoun. So I hope you understood what is pronoun. Now another significant part of a speech is adjective. Dear student, it's very important to know about adjective, because adjective actually used in a sentence as a modifier. Well, dear student, all the part adjective in adjective, all the parts of a speech are interrelated, you know. And adjective plays a very prime role in grammar. By using adjective, we can know about noun or pronoun. That means how a noun act or how a noun pronoun acts, their qualities. It may be good or bad. That means any kind of extra information about subject, that means noun or pronoun, which is very important to write a sentence very attractively. So dear students, I hope you understood about adjective. Here is a definition for you. You can see an adjective is a word which qualifies a noun. Yes, I have already mentioned this. It qualifies noun or pronoun or which adds something to its meaning. So if we want to bring a flow in your sentence, want to mention anything as a compliment, in that case it is important to know about adjective. It's a quality, quantity, this type of things. Here you can see there are dash water in the tank. Is asking about the measurement of water. So I can write here much, quantity. Again, you can see in next example, I have written here Shakil is a dash man. Actually, I know Shakil is a man, and I want to give here an extra information. That's why I made here a blank, and I can write here active. It's the quality of this man, Shakil. So it's adjective. I hope, dear students, now it's very clear to you what is actually adjective means. Actually, adjective qualifies, modifies noun or pronoun. So dear student, next we will turn about verb. Now turn to verb. Here is a definition. Before I mention definition, it's important to know about verb. Well, dear students, verbs are key parts of speech because without them a sentence cannot exist. Verbs gives a clear idea about subject. That means our subject was noun or pronoun. Basically, a subject has a verb needs a verb, and without verb a subject cannot fulfill. So it's very important to have idea, have knowledge about verb, because it will help you to write a fruitful sentence. Well, again I just want to mention no sentence can be built. Remember, dear students, no sentence can be built up without verb. Verb is basically like a heart of English grammar. Well, dear student, so hope you understood about verb. So we can say a verb describes doing something, being something, and having something. That means any kind of actions. If you want to know about the subject, what type of actions they are doing, in that case it's very important to know about verb. And you know, a subject cannot stay without verb. So here are some example for you. First one, you can see he can speak English. Well, he is a pronoun. We have already known about this pronoun. It's a pronoun. Can speak, it's an auxiliary verb and it's a main verb. So you can see a subject cannot remain without verb. Verb help us to know about subject. So it's a verb, and we can say he can speak English. Again, we can see they work hard to prosper in life. They work. So it's an idea about they, and it's a verb. So I hope you understood about verb, which is very important for a sentence, and it has an extra benefits in a sentence. Well, dear students, next comes Adverb. You can see an adverb is used in a sentence to modify a verb. Yes, dear students, basically adverb used to modify verb. Earlier we learned about adjective which modify noun or pronoun. Well, that means actually modify adverb modify verb. That means how a verb works. Actually, it's good or bad. Whatever. Notwithstanding, an adverb gives a clear idea about verb, like how a verb acts in a sentence. So, adverb tells us in what way someone does something. Actually, again I repeat it, adverb is one kind of modifier. So, here is the definition. We can say an adverb is a word which modifies. I have earlier mentioned it. An adverb is a word which modifies or qualifies the meaning of a verb, adjective, other adverb, or any other words or phrases in a sentence. Here are some example for you. You can see they work extremely hard. It's the subject verb, and how they work extremely hard. It's modified work. So I have already mentioned this. It's work as a modifier. Next, we can say he speaks English fluently. In earlier, we see that there was an example in verb, he can speak English. Yes, he can speak English, but how? Here is fluently. That means he can speak but fluently. It's a verb. That means how a verb works. Well, dear students, I should be emphasized next one, and that is preposition. Preposition works as a bridge in a sentence because it helps to tie sentence together. It is usually used to be for noun and pronoun and make a bond with entire sentence. And remember, students, without preposition a sentence is like aimless. So we can say a preposition is a word placed before a noun or a pronoun to show. Why to use? To show its relation with some other words in the sentence. So here are some examples for you. First one is I live in Bangladesh. There's a preposition. Suppose there is no preposition, what will be the sentence? It's actually aimless. I live Bangladesh. It's wrong. So you need to use here preposition, and it helps to make a link between entire sentence. Well, dear students, next one is she works at Milestone College. That means here is at. To this preposition made a relationship with the entire subject. So I hope you understood. Basically, preposition used to make a relationship with some other words in the sentence. Next come, you can see conjunction. A conjunction is a word which joins together two words, clause or sentence. They are considered to be invariably grammar participle. Without conjunction, we could only make very simple sentence. So dear students, if we want to write a nice sentence in an attractive sentence, it's important to know about conjunction because it will help you to join words, clause or sentence. Well, now come to the definition. A conjunction is a word which joins together two words. You can see two words, clause and sentence. Yes, dear student, here is an example for you. You can see he is very active, and this is a conjunction. You can see here is adjective, active and honest. I link these two words by using an conjunction. So it's help us to make a bridge all together the two words, clause or sentence. Next one is another important topic, that is interjection. Now let's turn to the last part of the speech. Well, dear student, they are used to express strong feelings or emotion. They work by expressing a sentiment such as disgust, joy, excitement, surprise, enthusiasm, like this. Actually, it helps to understand about the feeling of subject. These words are used can stand alone or be placed before or after a sentence. Actually, interjection have no grammatical relation to other parts of the sentence. It is frequently used in informal language than informal speech or writing. And after interjection, a note of exclamation sign is used. So dear students, now we can say interjections are those words which express feelings, emotions of mind. Here are some example for you. First one is excellent. You can see it's expressing your feeling about something, like you are doing well. For appreciating him, we used here excellent. So after excellent, we used here an exclamation mark. Next one, bravo. Once again, exclamation, well done. So these are the things, these are the functions of parts of speech which is very important to know. Dear student, I have mentioned every part of a speech and it's very important to know about this, and finally it will help you to write a fruitful sentence and it will make your sentence more engrossing to the reader. So give emphasis on this lecture. Well, dear students, I hope you understood about the every parts of a speech. It will help you to write a fruitful sentence or you will be able to speak English properly. So dear students, that's all for today. So learn English in English.